Hey, welcome to ETRAGE's drawing distribution with ETRAGE viewer webinar, the automation of drawing distribution. If you are interested in leveraging your product data management system more, moving away from emails or Teams messages, you've come to the right place. ETRAGE works toward breaking up siloed engineering information, and that is what this product does for you. Everyone's muted, so we ask that you use the Q&A icon for questions. That's on the top right. We'll get to those at the end. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to find that on YouTube afterwards. And we ask that you set your phones down and give us your full attention. I'm Connor Coyne. Joining me today is Ephraim. We bring over a decade of experience in the PTC and PLM space. Our shared focus as an organization is on understanding our clients' business challenges and delivering effective solutions. At ETRAGE, our focus is on driving continuous PLM adaptation by addressing the needs of your systems, your management, and your end users. Today's agenda looks at how ETRAGE can help you manage, share, and protect your company's intellectual property and get it out across the enterprise quickly with our ETRAGE viewer. ETRAGE is a global company with over 20 years of experience helping PLM adoption extend beyond engineering and into your entire enterprise. We understand that adaptation isn't a one-time event, but is truly a strategic ongoing process focused on continuous improvements and evolving over time. As a PTC technology partner, ETRAGE develops innovative software like the one we're showing you today, and services, helping companies move towards a complete digital footprint and away from manual processes and siloed databases. All right. Thank you, Ephraim. I'll kick this over to you now.
Thanks, Connor. I'm going to start here by just explaining what the drawing distribution solution that we offer is. This is a secured, easy-to-use, web-based software solution that makes it easy for employees, partners, suppliers, and other stakeholders to quickly find information, view, and able to download this engineering and manufacturing documents, especially the CAD viewables like PDFs generated from the drawings, without needing full access to expensive PLM and CAD software or heavy native applications. And the data sources for the application is data that's coming from the PLM tools like PDC Windchill and Teamcenter. And it can also cater for data that's been stored locally on the servers or the network drives. I'm going to start off here by just taking you through the challenges that we find in manufacturing when it comes to delivering or distributing manufacturing data. First one being that, yes, manual conversion of CAD data, like your DWG, the DXF, from tools like AutoCAD and Creo, or Office documents such as Word and Excel to PDF, or neutral formats like IGES and step files can indeed be very time-consuming, especially when you're dealing with a very large volume of data, complex drawings, assemblies with many references, and batches of files in general. This is a common pain point in engineering and manufacturing workflows. And with just what I've mentioned at the top, the custodian of this data is the engineering department. So being overly reliant on that engineering team becomes a problem because it creates a project bottleneck, more especially when this team of engineers are not available or they have other priorities to attend to, maybe a meeting where they need to decide on a specific product drawing. This sort of things ends up leading to project delays in general. Third challenge that we normally see also is that sharing CAD design and engineering files with your supplier and vendors is normally a common practice in manufacturing space. But with that, it inherently carries intellectual property risks as well, where they can take that data in that format and then manipulate it or repurpose it for other things. Other challenge identified is lack of access to real-time data is a significant challenge in the manufacturing space. So this forces teams to rely on outdated or very static data set, which can easily lead to misaligned decisions, increased risks, as well as scrap in most cases, where we've went in and cut the material based on their own drawing, and whatever we've cut doesn't fit into the product, then we now have to scrap it. And with that, it also delays in the product going out. The other thing is many organizations operate in multi-CAD environment, as we know, where teams, departments, suppliers, or even legacy projects use different CAD tools to author this product. So authorized drawings, there's assemblies. And the challenge is if the downstream or the consumers of this data, like manufacturing, do not have all these tools, it's very difficult or even impossible for them to access this sort of information. But again, if you do, find a way to buy licenses for different CAD tools for them, you end up experiencing this following challenge, where there's concerns about high cost for full CAD licenses just for viewing. That becomes an issue because many companies face this, especially when you have only a few people who are, editing and needing full access to this information, which in this case becomes the engineering team. And you find that most people that actually consume this downstream are quite a lot of people. Things like the procurement department, manufacturing, your suppliers, quality department, and in other cases, marketing as well, to be able to get information to market the product. How do we solve this issue, or how this ETRAGE viewer solution that we have solves this issue? This is a web-based viewer that allows you to connect without needing to have an application physically installed on your PC to be able to access the information, and can also be accessed from anywhere, as long as the system is internet facing. Because it's web-based, it can be accessed from anywhere in the world, allowing for quick search for information. It is also secure and permission control, making sure that you only provided access to the information that you need, and that information only, while making sure that we protect the IP access of our company. So no need for CAD application, as I've said previously, to access this engineering data, because all the data is in the neutral formats like PDF, and it also supports output generated from different CAD applications. Hence, you don't need to spend much on the licensing of the CAD applications or different CAD applications. The features that you would see in this tool is things that we've talked about over and over again, that it is a web-based application, and it also allows you to do simple and complex searches of viewable documents without needing a dedicated CAD application, because this data is in the PDF format. You can open it using an open source or a free clear viewer application. It supports authentication via the LDAP system or the internal username and password. And of late, it also supports the SSO authentication technology. So you also allows you to view files from various sources that are actually generated by one of our tool called Publisher, from different CAD applications like Creo, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, and so on, as well as the Microsoft Office documents that we talked about to your output documents such as PDFs. It also enables quick and secure sharing of information with your internal employees, external contributors like suppliers and vendors, as well as the subcontractors that you might have. Thus, streamlining the viewing and the printing of engineering files, extending access of this information beyond the engineering team only. So at this stage, I'll take you through the demonstration of the tool. As I said, the application is web-based. I'm accessing it through Chrome web browser. And I have just typed in my URL or a link to the system. And then it takes me to the login page. I'll go in and log in with my username and password. And you notice that I've got in the username and password wrong. It tells me that the details are incorrect. So I'm just going to go ahead and correct that. I'm now logged into the system. And the first thing you see as soon as you get into the system is you get your basic training on how to use the system. That's how easy the system is to use. Even without this information, it's very easy to navigate by just looking at the interface. You can immediately see where the search is, where do you need to type the keywords, and there's a search for formats. How do I go about doing that? Then from this interface here, I can simply hit the search icon, and it goes and returns all the data that's been stored in the system. I see there's one file there that's the document type. There's one that's of the drawing or the part, which is the normal part or assembly in the system. And you'll also see that in my system at this stage, I have about 131 items stored in my system at this stage. That is one way of just finding information or the entire information in the system by just hitting the search. But if I want to narrow down my search, I can go ahead and say I'm just looking for all the Creo drawings that are in the system. I type in asterisk in the extension of the drawing, then it goes and returns all the drawings that I have in the system. Not only that, I can also go and say, okay, I'm someone who's working with machining, and I'm looking for specific formats in the system. I don't know the file, but I know the formats that I'm looking for. So in this case, I can go and say I'm looking for the IGES format. Hit search on that, and you'll see the system now goes and returns every item in my system that has an output format of IGES type in it, IGES file in it. And then from here, I can simply click on the name and then download that IGES file to my local system. Or if I'm looking for a step file, go in and download that step file out to my local system to be able to use. The other searches that you can also do here is because all this data is being indexed, I can go in and just search for shaft, and then it will return the name that basically starts with the word shaft. If I wanna just get it to return anything or any item that has a word shaft in it, I can put in the wildcard character here and then run the search, and it will go and find that information for me. So more like a Google search type of thing. But on top of that, it also gives you the advanced search function as well. So if I click on the drop down here, I'm able to search my data based on where it is stored in my source system. Like in this case, data that's coming from Windchill. These are all the products from the Windchill system. So I can pick the attributes that I want to search based on. Things like life cycle. As I've shown you the formats as well. So I can go in and use the advanced search using my format as well here. So in this case, I'm just searching for anything from the demo product, and then I'll just pick everything that's been released from there. Maybe let's just go ahead and just pick only the documents and hit search. So it goes and returns that specific information. And you also notice how quick the search itself is. It is because of that indexing function that sits on top of the application. You can see they're all coming from the demo product, and then these are all the document files. So I'm going to go ahead and just search for drawings again. I'm just going to remove the advanced search settings. Now I'll go back and just search for all the drawings in the system once again. And you'll notice that some of the drawings that I have here, they will have a couple of formats linked to them. So for instance, that first one would have a DXF file, a PDF file, a PVC, and so on linked to it. If I click on the name itself, I can download the individual files, based on the type that I want or the format that I want. But if I want to, download the entire pack of formats, you just need to select that item and right-click and hit the download. Or if I need multiple of this, maybe that one and that one as well. I pick all the three, right-click. I can actually right-click anywhere on the interface here. And then it basically downloads those three items in a zip format. Let's see, file. These are now in the zip format. And if I go inside the zip format, you will see it's all the different PDF, DXF for all the three drawings that we have selected. That's how you quickly go ahead and just download all the outputs linked to a specific item. And then now if I go in to one of the drawings here, if I click on the details icon, it takes me to the details page of this particular drawing. You can see the thumbnail, the metadata about the file, and I can also see all those output formats that we've created. And on this page as well, I can also create or capture the custom attributes that are coming from my my source data, whether it's from the local or from the Windchill system. I can also capture those additional attributes such as material, description, and maybe supplier for a material in that specific in this information window here. The other thing that I just want to explain quickly on here is if I open up this PDF file, you'll notice that this particular drawing here has got the notes in it. So we also have a tool or a feature in our viewer system that allows you to basically extract that notes information from the drawing itself and then store that against the drawing. So all the information you see on here, it's basically the notes that's been extracted from that drawing itself. And the nice thing with this is if I remember some information on the notes that I can use to search for this specific drawing, I'm able to use this function here that's called the drawing note search to search based on the notes keywords that you find in your notes from that drawing. Now, I'm just going to quickly show you how the data moves from the source, Windchill in this case, and gets into the ETRAGE viewer system. And you'll also notice how quick that also happens. So I'm going to bring up here my Windchill environment, and I'm going to quickly navigate to one of the drawings that I want to revise and republish over here. Let's pick. I'll pick that drawing over there. So this drawing is now on the R revision. So if I go back to the viewer over here and search for it, you'll see that in our view application, it is now on revision R. Now I'm going to go ahead and revise this file. Maybe we need to make any an engineering change to the drawing. You go ahead and make a change to this drawing. Revise it. It is now back in production change. We make changes to the file, and once we're done, we'll take it through the process of releasing it. In a formal release process, you would normally use a change process to release it, or a promotion process to release it. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm just gonna go ahead and just quickly release it by setting the state on the drawing. And then what happens is on the Winchell interface here, I have the ETRAGE add-on that's basically configured to look at the files that are released, listen to files that are released, and then process them to generate those files and send them to the viewer. So you'll see at this stage, my file is on the not started state because I'm gonna run the publishing of this manually to show you what's actually happening in the background when this is published. So this is my server that runs my ETRAGE publisher tool. So on here, you'll notice that I have configured my system here to my PLM tool. In this case, it is the Winchell environment that we've just seen for those details. And you also notice that there's tools or different CAD applications that we can process the data from. So if you have your a different tool to this, there will be a license for that specific tool to be able to process this. So I'm going to go ahead and just run or listen from Winchell. And you'll see as soon as I do that, our pole drawing is now being processed. So what's actually happening here is this file gets opened in Creo parametric, gets processed, and output file as a PDF gets generated. We extract some of the metadata from the Winchell side, and once that's done, Creo gets closed, and then we add things like a watermark onto that particular PDF, and then we push it to the viewer. So now, if we go back to our viewer, or if I refresh on the system request here, you'll see our job is now finished. If there was issues with that file, the status here would have red failed. So now, if I go back to my drawing over here, which is was on the R version, and I refresh it, I see now my revision has now moved from R to T, and then this is the new drawing that's been generated. And you would have seen also that as part of the publishing, we attached a watermark to it. So in this case, we created a watermark for the version that is that the file is in, as released in this case. And then the second watermark that we would normally do is at the very bottom here. This is basically to say the drawing is valid for 24 hours, which means if you pick up this drawing on the shop floor and it's over 24 hours, you should not be using that drawing. You need to go back to the system and generate a new drawing that might have changed and is the latest at that time. So you're able to control, that watermark and then the watermark at the bottom here as well. So yeah, that's how the data has been processed, and then you'll also have realized how quick it takes to move that data from source system into the viewer. The next thing I want to talk about is the admin or administration side of the tool, how the tool has been set up, how is the access created, and how does it work. So in the admin side here, you have attributes. So if you need to add those custom attributes like material description, that's coming from your source system, you will need to add them on this list as well, so that they show on the details page of your items. The next one is the formats. All the formats you're gonna see, all the formats you wanna generate from your CAD information, you need to make sure that they exist in this list here. If they do not exist at the time of publishing, the push to the viewer, the push of that data to the viewer would fail because it won't find the suitable format for it. And then context is those products where you basically house your data. So all of this actually come automatically from Windchill as you publish the data. But you can also go ahead and add your own product in here as well. Lifecycle, exactly like it is in the Windchill system. Basically, those states that the product will undergo. If you only need a release state data, to show in the system, you don't need to create all these other states. You can only, create released, or you only create the states that you need to show in the viewer. Same with the revisions that we have, and the sequencing of those revisions, or the indexing of those revisions. So the system also uses this table here to sort of highlight which file is actually the latest file in the system. Then with the LDAP window here, we see it's got the server name and the server host. This is where you can go in and link the viewer to your LDAP system. So if you have LDAP systems such as an AD or any third-party LDAP system, we are able to link it using this particular function over here. And these three, they work together: the users, user group, and the permissions. So users are just a list of users that are stored locally in the system. So these are users that are actually stored in the database, ETRAGE view database. And then the groups are exactly that: the groups that would use to link the users to specific permissions in the system. And then the permissions in here is basically what a certain permission group would be able to do. So for instance, if you're looking at the supplier permission here, we're only giving them access to data that's residing in just this particular product called demo. And then it is for the lifecycle. And because we're using these guys to, cut our sheet metal items, we're only giving them access to the information that they would need. They do that in the machining for us. So we're giving them the step files, IGS, and the DXF to be able to achieve that. That is the only information that they can see when they log into the system. And lastly, or one of their functions is the security label. If you wanna, add some additional measures on the security, or locking down your data, you can use security labels to do such things. And then lastly is just the options on the behavior of the system. Things like what sort of columns you want to see when you log into the system, the attributes, the time zone settings, that sort of things. You can actually set on this options window here to personalize your systems to do certain things. Then the next thing I want to show is just the additional modules that we or features that we have on top of the application itself. If you're someone who's doing things like bulk print, we have the function for bulk print here that basically prepares a certain list of drawings for printing to a specific printer as well. So you'll notice that in my system, I've set it to a couple of printers that I have on here. So the second floor printer, the plotter, as well as the first floor printer. And what I'll simply do is basically pull an Excel file that's called bulk, I've named it bulk print at this stage. You pull that file, you upload it, and then these are all the drawings that are in that file. So then based on this drawing, it will create a print ready file that your publisher can use to print out these drawings to a printer at a specific time. And optionally, you can also set the your email so that it lets you know once those printers have been sent to the printer. The second one is the bulk download. It means exactly that. Having a list of drawings that you want to, export out, put them in an Excel file, and then you basically pull in that Excel file in here, upload it, and then it generates a zip file for your bulk upload. If you go into that zip file, you will have all the drawings, the DXL files, TVZ files that are related to those drawings that you have specified in that Excel file. So that's a quick and easy way if you need to send, a bulk or a number of drawings out to a vendor supplier. List them in a Excel sheet. Just put it into the system here. It gets you that bundled drawings for you. And the other one, I'm not going to go into details about this one, is the document report. This is just to give you a report of how many files were loaded or processed into the system between certain time frame. And you can also specify which life cycle you're talking about and which type of item you're talking about. Is it a part, a drawing? And then you just generate a number of objects that's been processed or loaded into the system during that time frame. And the third one is the fourth one here is the document insert. You'd normally use this one if you have files that are sitting locally on your PC, but you need to load that file into the viewer. So I can simply quickly go and pick a file, open it, give it a revision, a state. Let's use released a state and the context where you want to save it, and you basically upload it. And the file is now uploaded, and it's in the system. So from here, people will be able to download that Excel file from here. And again, as an administrator, I have that function there where I can change the number of this, and this is a function that you can assign to a group or assign to a permission group to be able to do if needed. So I can simply go and delete this document if I don't need it anymore. That system. And lastly, the PDF merge. So you normally use this if you want to put a whole list of PDFs that relates to maybe a specific product. You want to put them, merge them together into just one PDF document. And the nice thing with that is you can also create things like the front page of that entire document. So in this case, to do this, I have an Excel file that I've created. I have my cover page that I've loaded into the viewer system. It is a document cover page of PDF type. And then I have my drawings that are related to this crankshaft assembly. So what I'm going to do here is just going to load it and create a image of this file. So give it a name, crankshaft document, and then I'll go and select that mesh PDF that I've just meshed Excel file that I've just shown you, and then upload it. So if I go into the name of it here, it will show me all the items that are in that file. And then once I'm happy with everything, I can go ahead and merge that file. It creates a PDF file for me. Save that. Done. This is my file, my cover page with some notes on it. And then these are all the drawings that are actually coming from my viewer system, being fetched using that measure tool, and then being placed in one transmittal document, if you want to call it that, for my drawings. Lastly, when it comes to the permissions, just to show you how the permissions work, I'll log in with just different users here and just show you what they can see or cannot see. So someone who is on the shop floor, manufacturing shop floor, you want to just make sure that they can see only the PDFs because that's all they need to use. So we log in as this person, and you'll notice if I hit search here, they can only see PDF information on here. All the data they can see, it's only PDF because their permissions are set like that. Same applies to that supplier we talked about. This is the supplier that only require DXF files and adjacent step files. And let's log in as this user and see what they can see in the system. I'll do the same as well and search for the entire data in the system. Notice that they can only see adjacent step data or DXF on a drawing. So this drawing, we know it has a PDF, it has other output formats, but at this stage, for this particular group, which is suppliers, they can see only this data. That is all I wanted to share as far as the demo goes. And I'm just going to go back to my presentation and just speak to the benefits of the systems, things that you've already seen that we've done just now in the demo. Is the first one is that because the system is web-based, it allows you to access information from anywhere without needing an application installed. The publishing is automated. So as soon as the data is released, as you saw, it is immediately available in real time for downstream consumption. It's easy to search using a simple or a complex or advanced search function. So you can search using anything that you know about the item. It allows you to control who have access to what information. With the supplier, they can only see certain data, not the entire data set. With data being in a neutral format, data can be viewed without needing the CAD application. Those are the PDF. We're able to open them, you can see them from just the Chrome view as well. That is all I wanted to cover. Connor, going to just throw it back to you for questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ephraim. Great job. If anyone has any questions, feel free to submit those in the Q&A in the top right. While we wait for those to come in, we'll cover some licensing. One of the ways ETRAGE keeps license management simple is having it based on site licenses. That does not apply to remote workers. It's primarily tied to manufacturing facilities. And we have models to fit any situation you're running into. We have users with 10,000 users to 10. So we're very much able to conform to your business, and we'd love to discuss. So when you have time, reach out, and we'd like to get stuff set up. We also do have a number of different add-on modules for watermarking, drawing notes. So you can see some of those extensions on our YouTube channel. So check it out there. Yeah, so the call to action here. As I said in the last slide, we'd like to meet with you and walk through kind of where you are today. Some of the questions we like to think about in those meetings is identifying how much time engineering spends pulling drawings from other departments. You kind of start tracking that. Very quickly, you realize that your engineers spend too much time doing this. And then also, if current processes is emailing, are you running into issues where those drawings are being sent to vendors out of date? So just some things to think about, and we'd love to get you set up on a trial. All right, so we do have our upcoming schedule here. I did want to call out our February 2nd to 6th Introduction to Creo class coming up here in a couple weeks. If you have any new users, coming over from SolidWorks or NX, this would be a perfect class for them, or just graduating college. So that runs 5 days, and we do have some open seats. It does not look like we've gotten any questions coming in. Yep. So additionally, you can learn more about our ETRAGE software and service solutions from past webinars or reach out. We are happy to start a discussion. Do you have a current problem and don't see a solution? Let's talk. We are a software service company. All of our products are listed here. We're developed for manufacturing companies, primarily based on requests. So if you're running into any kind of issues, we'd love to connect. With that, I want to thank you for attending and pass along our contact information. I look forward to speaking with you soon.